Before beginning, pause the video for a minute and look around you. You might see enough things: a table, a chair, or your bed, maybe. Now, think of this: everything that human beings ever created arose from our ability to think. At some point, anything that came into existence by our hands came up as an idea in someone's head. In some sense, all that we see in our reality is just a translation of thoughts to the physical world. Now think at an emotional level. How does your thinking affect your mood on a day-to-day basis? Some nights, after a fight with your loved one, or after a hard day, you might find yourself difficult to catch sleep because of your mind overrun by thoughts. In both cases, thoughts rule your internal and external reality at different levels. So, wouldn't it be a good idea to train your thought process to its best form? Wouldn't that, in a way, make your life better both inside and out? This is where meditation can change the world. We are not here to discuss how to meditate. That will be given out on a different video. But in order for us to do anything new in life, we need to have a strong why. Here, I'll give you 3 reasons why practicing meditation can alter your life phenomenally. 1. Exercising free will. What is free will? Let's hear a story. On August 1st, 1966, an ex-Marine named Walt Whitman, studying at the University of Texas, shot and killed 14 people. He also took the life of his mother and his wife the day before. On his suicidal note before the killing, he wrote this: "I do not quite understand what it is that compels me to type this letter. Perhaps it is to leave some vague reasons for the actions I have recently performed. I do not really understand myself these days. I'm supposed to be an average, reasonable, and intelligent young man. However, lately, I cannot recall when it started, I have been a victim of many unusual and irrational thoughts. These thoughts constantly recur, and it requires a tremendous mental effort to concentrate on useful and progressive tasks." After killing his mom and his wife the day before the shooting, he wrote this: "I imagine it appears that I brutally killed both of my loved ones. I was only trying to do a quick, thorough job. If my life insurance policy is valid, please pay off my debts. Donate the rest anonymously to a mental health foundation. Maybe research can prevent further such tragedies from happening. If you can find in yourself to grant my last wish, cremate me after the autopsy." Rightly enough, after his autopsy, a tumor was found in his temporal lobe. Experts say that his irrational behavior may have been partly because of his tumor or partly because of his childhood mental trauma. Whatever the reason be, his mind was overrun by his thoughts. What is interesting is that nearly all of us are like Mr. Whitman to a certain extent, having no control over our behavior. Whenever we get angry, sad, or exhibit any other irrational behavior, our thoughts take control over us. Don't believe me? Pause the video again. This time, try closing your eyes and not think of anything for a minute. Was it possible? No, right? It is almost impossible to do this because our brain is essentially a prediction machine and we act on these predictions. Whenever you get angry or irritated, depressed, or pulled down by an unpleasant experience, it is like being 40% Whitman, being overrun by your thoughts. Every action you take, whether thinking to have food, or walking, or choosing to practice a certain career, is a thought translating into action. Now think of this. If for 1 minute you have no control over your thoughts, how can you be sure that anything that you do throughout the day was actually done by you or generated by your thoughts. Even better, if you have no control over your thoughts, how can you expect anyone to have control over theirs and ultimately peace in this world? This is the dilemma of free will. It is the question that whether your thoughts and decisions you make are like a dandelion floating in the wind, just being swayed around a random path which you call life. This is where the boring act of sitting simply to observe your thoughts can give you liberation to your life. Watch your every thought as though there's a snake present in your room. It has been studied that an average person has 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. That is an average of 1148 thoughts per lifetime. Imagine that for 7 billion people. This is a breeding ground for chaos, as the sheer number means that much difference in opinion and that much more conflicts. From your personal experience, you might know that one negative thought leads to another. Meditation is just a filter for your average 60,000 thoughts per day. It teaches you which thoughts to pay attention to so that you can create better thought trains throughout your day. Remember, one redirected thought can change the rest of your day. 3. Meditation frees you from mental slavery. On December 18, 1865, America abolished slavery. This was a landmark in freeing human beings from slavery at a physical level. Nobody likes to be commanded what to do, right? So, when will we all be free from slavery at our mental level? What is mental slavery then? If your life is being run by reactions most of the time, then you are a mental slave. Imagine this. You decide to read a book that you really wanted to read. But when you started to read, you get bored, close the book, and open Netflix. You are now a slave of your reaction, which is boredom. These reactionary mechanisms control you from taking the decisions required to move in life the way you want it to be. You have just become a slave to your own reaction. When you learn to sit idle with your mind, through practice, you learn to observe your thoughts, and if you really start watching them, you will not get bored because you will start watching that itself as a perception played to you by your mind. This gap helps you to not be deceived by your own mind. When you choose which thoughts played by your mind to listen to, you become its master. The difference between getting bored and choosing to get bored or not is the real freedom that meditation offers to this world. You become unstoppable. To sum it up, at some level, meditation teaches you to exercise control over your thoughts and not to be overrun by it. It teaches you to filter your thoughts and to form better positive thought chains. It makes you less vulnerable to reactions and not be a slave to your own reactionary thoughts. Remember, meditation is the action of silence. Peace in thinking.